Hi, this is Marie Rains. Welcome back to my channel. For the month of July, we're going to switch things up just a little bit. I would like to dedicate my channel to the tellings of the Native and Indigenous ghost stories. Since we're a paranormal channel, that's what we're going to do. We're going to give some light on to these peoples. I'm going to be linking down below in the description box where the stories come from, so as to give credit to the creators. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well, because as you know, I am diving deep into the rabbit hole of the Old West. So I will be posting about the Native Americans and Indigenous peoples on my Instagram as well. So make sure to follow me there, and if you like these stories and want to hear more and more paranormal things in general, make sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe, and make sure to turn on the bell notification so that you don't miss anything. Alright, so here we go. Here the first ghost story is called A Mashpee Ghost Story. So sit back and relax and enjoy. This first ghost story is called A Mashpee Ghost Story. One night on Cape Cod at Cape Cod, a Mashpee woman and her children were alone in their wigwam. The children were sound asleep in their blankets, and their mother sat knitting beside her central fire pit. As customary, her door flap was wide open. Suddenly, she became aware of someone approaching her doorway and went to see who it might be. A sailor stood outside, and she asked him, "What do you want?" He replied, "I'd like to come inside and warm myself by your fire, because my clothes are wet and I feel chilled to the bone." She invited him in and offered a place for him to sit beside the fire to dry out and warm himself. She placed another log on her fire and then resumed her knitting. As she watched the fire, she noticed that she could see the fire right through the sailor's legs, which were stretched out between her and the fire, as if he were a ghost. Her fear of him increased, but since she was a brave woman, she kept on with her knitting while keeping a suspicious eye towards the visitor. Finally, the sailor turned to the woman and said, "Do you want any money?" Her first thought was not to answer his question, but then he repeated, "Do you want any money?" She replied, "Yes." The sailor explained, "If you really want a large amount of money, all you have to do is go outdoors behind your wigwam. Beside a rock, there you will find buried a kettle full of money. I thank you for your hospitality. Good night." He went away. The Mashpee woman did not go outdoors immediately, as she wanted to think about the sailor's proposal. She sat and knitted and thought for a while longer. Still, she felt frightened from the evening's experience and was reluctant to leave her wigwam. More knitting time elapsed, and then she thought, "Well, I might as well go out and see if the sailor spoke the truth, to see if there really is a kettle of money out there." So she took her hoe and went outside to the back of her wigwam, and easily saw the place described by the sailor. She began to dig with her hoe, but then realized that every time she struck the hoe into the ground, she heard her children cry out loudly, as if in great pain. She rushed indoors to see what their trouble was, but they were soundly sleeping in their blankets. Again and again she dug with her hoe, and each time the children cried out loudly to her. Each time she rushed in to comfort them, only to find them soundly asleep, just as she'd left them. After these episodes had occurred several times, the mother decided to give up digging for the night. She thought she'd try again early the next morning, after bright daylight and her children were awake. Morning came, but she wondered if she had only dreamed about last night's happenings. Her children were eating their breakfast when she went out to the digging place. There was her hoe, standing right where she'd left it. but she could see that someone else had been digging there in the meantime and had finished digging while she slept. Before her, she saw a big round hole. She knew someone had dug up the hidden treasure. She was too late for the pot of gold promised by the ghostly sailor. But again she thought and wondered, but was I really too late? Again she thought, the sailor may have been an evil spirit in disguise, or even a real ghost. Perhaps he was tempting me to see whether I cared more for my children or more for the gold. Nevertheless, the Mashpee woman and her children continued to live in their village for a long, long time, even without the benefit of the ghost's kettle of gold.